Most founders think that hiring is the hard part, but it's really not. The hard part is what happens after you hire. Because if you mess up onboarding, even the best remote employee will underperform, they'll feel disconnected, and they'll eventually leave. In this video, I'm going to break down the exact system that we've used to onboard remote employees into over 300 companies so that they can hit the ground running, they can get up to speed fast, and they can stick around long term. Let's get into it. Step 1, prepare before they start. Most founders wait until the new hire's first day to think about onboarding, but that's already way too late. The biggest mistake that I see is hiring somebody, then scrambling to figure out what to hand off. Before your remote employee or executive assistant might start with you, you need to do the prep work. So start by figuring out exactly what tasks you're going to delegate to them. The framework that I always recommend is something called the Eisenhower Matrix. It's a simple way to categorize everything on your plate based on really two questions. Is this urgent or is this important? And then this gives you 4 quadrants. So if it's important and urgent, then you should be doing that yourself. If it's important but not urgent, then schedule that for later for yourself. If it's not important but it is urgent, those are the tasks that you can really delegate. And if it's neither important nor urgent, then just delete it. So that third quadrant, urgent but not important, that's where your new hire will take tasks from. So these are the tasks that need to get done, but they don't need to be done by you specifically. Things like sending follow-up emails, scheduling appointments, data entry, LinkedIn outreach, content creation. Then create SOPs for every single one of those tasks that you're going to be handing off to them. And when you hand off a task, don't just tell them what to do, tell them why it matters. So for example, instead of just saying, hey, update the task status, and after every task in your project management system, explain that this is how the whole team knows what's happening without having to message each other. And if it's not updated, somebody might start working on something that's not ready yet. If they understand the bigger picture, they'll make better decisions when something unexpected comes up. The quickest and easiest way to do this is to record a Loom video of you actually doing the tasks. After you've recorded that Loom video, you can download the transcript from Loom and put it into ChatGPT or Gemini and turn that into an SOP. Now that you have both a video and a written explanation, you can hand that to the remote employee. By the way, finding somebody worth onboarding is half the battle. I'm not covering how to find the right person in this video. That's a whole nother conversation. But if you want help with that part, it's literally what we do at Coconut. We specialize in matching US companies with pre-vetted Filipino talent. So in case you're interested, click the link below in the description to book a call with us, with our team. Let's get back to the video. Step 2, set up the right systems. Remote employees need clarity on where things are and how to communicate. Without this, they'll constantly be coming to you with questions. There are 4 main things that we set up for every new hire that we make. 1 is dedicated Slack channels. Everyone knows exactly where to go to ask questions or get approvals. They don't have to go through hundreds of DM messages to try and find their answer. Number 2 is a project management tool with clear task descriptions. We've used Monday.com a lot in the past, but Notion, Asana, ClickUp, they all work as well. Every task should have a detailed description and checklist. Number 3 is a detailed org chart. This helps them understand the structure of the company, who owns what. But in those first few weeks, give them 1 main person for day-to-day questions, 1 person to contact. They can learn to navigate the team later, but early on, they just need someone who will help them get unstuck if they ever do get stuck. And number 4, a central location for all the SOPs and training videos that you've created. We use Notion for this. You can organize everything really easily and make it all searchable. It stops them from having to try and find information constantly, which really affects their productivity and their momentum. And it makes them feel more like part of the team as well. Remote employees can feel isolated really quickly, so you should get them into your Slack channels, introduce them to the team, include them in conversations that aren't just about work. You don't want them to feel like they're just going at all of this alone. Step 3, over-communicate in those first 2 weeks. The first 2 weeks are the most critical window. In my experience, it takes about 2 weeks for someone to master a repeatable process to the point where they don't need you anymore. They don't need to be asking a lot of clarifying questions. But those first 2 weeks require effort on your part. You need to over-communicate from the beginning, check in with them regularly, not to micromanage, just ask, hey, what's working, what's not working, something quick like, hey, how are you doing? What questions do you have? Where can I help you out? Give them as much context up front as possible. I've learned the hard way that if you hold back any information or context, they'll continue to come back to you for questions time and time again. So save yourself from the back and forth and just give them everything that they need from the start. Agree on how and when they will update you. Maybe that's a Monday morning Slack message. Maybe it's a shared doc that they can update daily. Whatever works for you. The point is that you are creating some kind of accountability without breathing down their neck. With that being said, also teach them what good communication looks like in general. The best remote employees don't wait until something's broken to reach reach out. Teach them to say things like, hey, I'm at this stage, or I should be done by this date, or hey, I've started, but I'm stuck on this part. Here's what I'm doing to fix this. Proactive communication is definitely a skill. Some people need to be shown what that looks like. The goal is really to help them build up confidence. You want them to be solving problems on their own, not waiting for you to tell them what to do. The more information you give up front, the faster they can get to that point. Step 4, build trust, not control. This is one of the biggest mistakes I see founders make when they're hiring remote employees. They get nervous about remote performance, so instead of building better systems, they install some kind of surveillance software, screen tracking, keystroke monitoring, all that stuff. But the truth is that you either build a company on control or on trust. You can't really have a great mix of both. Data shows that half of remote workers say monitoring software makes them feel anxious, and nearly a third say it actually hurts their ability to focus, meaning that it's actually counterproductive to have all of this intense setup. So you should build systems that create trust. And you do this by managing the output, not the activity. You don't need to know if they moved their mouse, you just need to know if they got the job done. Let them earn your trust with small wins first. Hand them something very low stakes, see how they handle it, then give them more and more responsibility as they prove themselves. You can have regular calls with them, but make those calls useful. So don't say, hey, what have you been doing all day? Because that can feel like babysitting. Instead, say something like, hey, what do you need from me to move forward? This will get them to open up about where they are, but then also where they need to be and how they're going to get there. And then you can come in with feedback for them on how they can do that even better. And make sure that you help them feel more comfortable with that whole process so that you can all start making progress and they can all be more independent. Step 5, create pathways for growth. Onboarding does not end after 2 weeks. The best remote employees want to grow. If you don't give them that opportunity, they'll probably find it somewhere else. You want to keep them engaged long term. Try not to underestimate how invisible remote employees can feel. So when they do something really well, tell them. A quick Slack message takes 5 seconds, but it has a huge impact. And constructive feedback is also useful. When something's off, make sure that you don't let that sit for months or weeks. Tell them now when it's still fixable and when it's not going to fester in your mind. Remote employees need more frequent feedback loops compared to people that are in the office or just people that you interact with a lot more frequently. And again, for that growth, talk to them about where they want to go. If they don't see a future with you, they'll start looking for one somewhere else. It also means that you can see their potential and what role they could grow into. We've found that 60 days is a critical checkpoint. By then, the honeymoon phase is over and reality has really set in. That's when you need to double down on retention. So check in with them, see how they're actually feeling, address any issues before they become a reason to leave. And I'll even give you a real example from our own team. 3 years ago, Donna joined us as an executive assistant. She worked hard, she was solving problems like they were her own, and she brought a great attitude every single day. A few months in, we made her the CEO. Now she's running the entire company while I focus on getting us from $3 million to $10 million per year. Sometimes the best hires are the ones that outgrow the role that you originally hired them for. But that can only happen if you give them that room to grow, and that's your goal at this final phase of onboarding. Now look, onboarding is just one piece of all of this puzzle. Before you even get here, you've got to find the right candidates, vet them properly, figure out payroll, deal with time zones, navigate international hiring, and trust me when I say that can be a lot. That's why we built Coconut, where we handle all of that. If you click the first link in the description below, you can book a free call with our team. We'll help you find pre-vetted remote talent who can hit the ground running. We'll tell you exactly what you need. We find the person, we vet them, we get them ready to start, and you are just worrying about onboarding somebody who's already been filtered for you. So again, click that first link below, book a call, and if you want to watch a full video on creating SOPs, which I mentioned today, then watch this video next.